Hi there. This video is the last of a series dedicated to my book Blockchain plus Antitrust, the decentralization formula. You can access all the chapters following the link in the description. Today, I'd like to talk about blockchain future. Like Yogi Berra once said, prediction is hard, especially when it's about the future. But I will try my best, or rather, I will expose the key elements that I think will define blockchain's dynamism and future. First, I want to talk about external factors, meaning forces that come from outside blockchain ecosystems but play a central role in defining them. And here, I need to talk about the competitive pressure put by centralized platforms and aggregators. Three elements will define this competition between blockchain and non-blockchain's products and services. One, public permissionless blockchains do not have a single pilot in the cockpit. This could be a plus, but also a limit. Consider two famous pilots, Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. Steve Jobs was famously able to introduce products before people knew they needed them. This is what you get with a great pilot. But if you analyze the survey exploring why non-Facebook users are refusing to use it, they say the first reason is that they do not trust Mark Zuckerberg and how he deals with data. This shows the limits of having a pilot when he is not trusted. Blockchains won't face this issue. Two, blockchains benefit from what I will call the token effect. Many online firms rely on network effects, that is, users' ability to derive value from a product based on the number of users. The more users, the more they can derive something from the service. Think social media. Without users, they have no value. Now, blockchains also benefit from network effects, but on top of it, they benefit from the token effect. That is, the ability to capture future value, and therefore the willingness to join a network without users. To make it concrete, blockchains can release tokens. They can issue these tokens at no cost and convince users to acquire them also at no cost. Should users have reasons to think they could become valuable, they would acquire them, although they cannot derive value from the product itself. This explains why we see serial monopolies in the space. Blockchains can attract users very rapidly because of the token effect. Now, I shall mention that financial regulation has an important role to play here. To make it simple, tokens can be classified as utility or security. Utilities are a tokenized right to access a future product or service. Securities are tokens whose value depends solely on the efforts of a third party. They are more heavily regulated. All that to say that calling tokens a security may reduce the willingness to acquire them and therefore the token effect. Let us remember that when enacting financial regulation. Third, blockchain adds financial value to digitalized things that are otherwise non-valuable. NFTs are a good example. NFT stands for non-fungible token. To put it simply, a unique token. Look at this CryptoPunk. It has been put on a blockchain by its creator, and it got automatically assigned a hash value, that is, an identity on the blockchain. You can buy that identity for a price of about $12 million. Why would you do that? Because you may feel good about being the owner, or because you may want to sell it again in just a few weeks and hope to make a profit. That's the idea, and it's quite a powerful one because it creates scarcity in an online environment. I believe that NFTs will play a central role in the competition between blockchain and big tech companies by creating an incentive to join blockchain networks to capture this value. Big tech companies are trying to recapture this value. For example, Meta announced that users will be able to feature these NFTs in their online houses. But even that ends up benefiting blockchain ecosystems because it creates an incentive to acquire even more NFTs. Okay, let me move on the second type of external factors, cooperation with other technologies. Blockchain can indeed be used for other technologies to function on top of it. For example, the Internet of Things and AI systems could take blockchain data out and they could put new data in. This will incentivize blockchain infrastructures to facilitate this kind of data flow. To be concrete, blockchain immutability could prove helpful when evaluating the data if the AI system has misbehaved, as it will prevent data handlers from changing the database after the fact. Alright, let me explore blockchain internal factors. You may have heard about the blockchain trifecta, but if not, here it is in a nutshell. The idea is that ensuring blockchain's decentralization, scalability, and security entails trade-offs, at least in the short term. Let me explain why. For example, should someone find a bug in blockchain code, this person could not fix the bug on its own. It would need to offer an update and convince users to adopt it. This may create a security problem. That being said, in the long run, I believe these three objectives are mutually reinforcing. The more a blockchain is decentralized, the more it stands out from centralized platforms and services that you know only too well. By differentiating themselves, blockchains attract users by offering a different value proposition. In turn, this generates scalability. And the same goes for security, as the more participants use a public blockchain, the harder it becomes to alter the ledger or perform a 51% attack. So, in a nutshell, blockchain trifecta is useful when making short-term decisions, but that's about it. Something else could very well define blockchain's future, and that is interoperability between them. To this day, you cannot create a smart contract on top of the Ethereum blockchain and use Bitcoin as a payment method. This kind of interoperability would make all blockchains more attractive. But of course, imposing interoperability from above often proves to be a great way to reduce competition. It proves, on the contrary, to be better when it emerges, so let us all participate in this emerging process. Overall, I believe blockchain will increasingly be at war with itself. Technical solutions will come to the issues I just raised, but important government choices will have to be made. In the end, it all comes down to human interactions and choices to be made in the context of uncertainty. Let us always remember that blockchain's ability to survive depends on its ability to differentiate itself from other digital infrastructures. This will prove tricky, often complex, but possible. Let us push together for a law plus technology approach, whether it concerns blockchain plus antitrust, AI plus privacy law, or technologies that do not exist yet. That is all. Thank you so very much for watching this series of videos. Take care of yourself, and if you can, someone else too. Cheers.